I would love to team up with Hulk. I would really like to do Spider-Man and Hulk. We had a really cool little sequence that was going to be an Endgame at one point, which was just basically Mark and I messing around on set, and then we were like, we should shoot this, and it actually was quite cool. But yeah, I think Hulk's my favourite character. I think he's so funny. So I would really like to team up with Hulk. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So this film is a indirect continuity with Marvel's Avengers EndGame, which obviously we lost our hero, Iron Man.
All right.
We had to say goodbye to him, and this film is kind of how we deal with a life without Iron Man, a world without our hero. And Peter Parker had a very special relationship with him, and it's all about how he deals with it and how he kind of comes into his own and realizes that the world needs him to step up and become the best Spider-Man he could ever be. I'm English, not American, right? And we say multiverse, but I think in America they say multiverse. So I think I've got it wrong in the film. Because the other day I did an interview with a journalist who's American, and he was like, so the multiverse is coming to light. I was like, no, it's the multiverse. So I think I'm going to have to go back and re-record how I say multiverse, because I think I got it wrong. But I can't really talk about that, because I don't know necessarily what's going on with the multiverse, or the multiverse. But what I can say is it's a really exciting possibility, and hopefully in the future we can really explore some incredible stuff. Don't give the fans what they want, they give them what they don't know that they want. You know, and that's why people are always so surprised when they see these movies and they enjoy them so much, because they go in with one expectation and they come out with an even better one. So for me, when I found out that Mysterio was going to be a superhero, I was just excited to find out more, because Marvel and Sony never disappoint. And my favourite villain from the Spider-Man universe, I mean, I've always loved Venom. I thought the Venom movie was really great. I really enjoyed it. I thought Tom Hardy was fantastic in that movie. I like Kraven. I've always really liked Kraven. Yeah, there's so many. I could talk for hours. I know that I got stuck a little bit, but I could talk for hours about it. Device in the back of my head, and if I'm about to say a spoiler, it'll go off, and then I'll pass out. That's the device they've got. No, the trouble is I do know all the spoilers for this movie. And next question. I really kind of saw them as role models, so while I'm playing this role, I understand I have this responsibility to be a role model to young people around the world, and I really do try and kind of do that. Whether it's, you know, with my charity, the Brothers Trust, or whether it's the way I hold myself in press or at work. But it's a really good question. A really good question.
It's very challenging, I think.
I try and do it every day. It's not like specific things. There's not like specific things I try and kind of get across. It's just being a good person. I try and help people be a good people, I guess. Sorry, that was a terrible answer.
What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Spider-Man Far From Home. So by now the press tour for Spider-Man Far From Home is well underway. We have Tom Holland dropping spoilers, but they are direct spoilers that Sony want you to know. So they're not really spoilers at all. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. So we're giving away tickets for Spider-Man Far From Home. All you gotta do is comment down below any Spider-Man Marvel based comment and subscribe to the channel with notifications on. So the video clips before this video started, you would have heard Tom Holland saying they did film some kind of scene with Hulk and Spider-Man, which is pretty cool. We've seen they were kind of introduced to each other in EndGame in New York, kind of. So it's pretty awesome that he said that he would love to have some scenes or do a movie potentially with Hulk. So in the future, potentially, we could have Hulk and a Spider-Man based cameo or movie. That would be pretty freaking awesome. And it's interesting that he said he wants to work with Mark Ruffalo. That would be a pretty cool scene to see together: the neighborhood Spider-Man and Hulk smash. Now, we did a video earlier this week about World Breaker Hulk coming and about the fact that Hulk still has one more movie on his contract because cameo roles do not count. I didn't initially know that, but it is interesting that cameo roles do not count. So there's a lot of questions, a lot of things being fired out about Spider-Man Far From Home. A big talking point is the fact of fans wondering why Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, is introducing himself to Peter Parker in Spider-Man Far From Home when they were both present at Tony Stark's funeral at the end of EndGame. Apparently, this movie will answer that in more than one way. The answer was, secondly, that reliable candidate Tom Holland accidentally gave away a piece of information about the dimensional rip, and it was revealed that most recent trailer that introduced Jake Gyllenhaal as Beck, aka Mysterio, might be considered as a spoiler. Addressing the meeting of Nick Fury and Peter Parker in the most recent issue of Total Film magazine, director John Watts talked about why the two didn't meet when almost all the surviving Marvel Cinematic heroes were present to mourn the loss of Tony Stark. It's not a fake out. They actually talked about why they didn't talk in EndGame. It's not a fake out, but there is more to this than meets the eye. So we put a theory out there months ago about the fact that I didn't think that Nick Fury was actually in the movie. I insinuated that it would either the Skrulls that were introduced during the Captain Marvel movie, that's a good option in my opinion, or it could actually be Chameleon, who a lot of people think are in the movie. There's no actual factual evidence, but careful for spoilers, I may ruin your life. So according to a plot leak, Chameleon does appear in the post-credit scene, but it isn't clear if Chameleon was pretending to be Nick Fury or if Chameleon was pretending to be Mysterio, because they're marketing this movie around the fact that Spider-Man and Mysterio are superheroes, when realistically we know that Mysterio is secretly controlling the elemental based villains, but he's trying to be the hero. He's trying to be the next Iron Man in some sorts of sense, or he's trying to be the master of illusion, just like Doctor Strange, aka Stephen Strange, which is very interesting. So we are less than a month till this movie comes out. It is the 8th of June. The movie comes out on the 2nd July. So there's going to be a lot of new information coming out. I'm not expecting too much trailers to come out. I will cover trailers, but not TV spots, because it is pretty pointless making a 3 to 4 minute video talking about a 10-second spot. MJ knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Let's be honest, she's always known that. So it is very interesting. All the information that is coming out from the press junkets that Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal have been doing recently. It was also very interesting that Tom Holland brought up the villain Venom, seeing his very good insider on Twitter, Roger, who has been the most reliable out of all the supposed insiders. He is the person that literally word for word pulled up massive plot point in EndGame 6 months before the movie even came out. So he is saying that Venom could appear in Spider-Man 3. Then we have Tom Holland talking about future villains he'd like, and he brought up Venom. He also brought up Kraven the Hunter, who Sony also owns, and they were supposedly doing something with Kraven the Hunter, which stopped Black Panther 2 using Kraven the Hunter because they don't own the rights, because obviously that's MCU. So it was a very interesting information that's going to come out, and literally up to the movie's release date they're going to keep talking in interviews, press junkets around the whole world. It's quite standard, but it is interesting how he is revealing a lot without really revealing anything. There is also misdirection out there. It was recently said by Tom Holland, Mysterio in the movie is actually my new best friend. We team up to fight these villains together, to fight these elemental creatures, because when Thanos snapped his fingers, these creatures came through the dimensional rift. So they're just trying to push away from the fact that Mysterio is behind the elemental beings, which is pretty interesting, and it's going to be a pretty cool movie. I am really anticipating going to watch Spider-Man Far From Home. It is the last MCU movie of the year, and it could really be the best one in many ways, because it's essentially a movie about Spider-Man accepting the death of Iron Man and realizing that Tony Stark made him Avenger, and he has to continue being a superhero. So it's going to be quite a sad movie in ways, because Tom Holland did say there was a very sad scene in there and he tried to get it taken out, but it's that sad it has to remain. So I presume this will be the Iron Man moment in the movie. And it's interesting that there is an Iron Man secret lab? No. Spider-Man will make his own suit, but he's going to have help from Tony Stark without Tony Stark really being there. We do know that Tony Stark will be in this movie, maybe in the glasses, in the artificial intelligence point of view. It is so obvious. It is so easy for Iron Man himself just to record some stuff, get Robert Downey Jr. in the studio, record a few memos, a few things that he pre-recorded before he died. It's pretty obvious that he's going to appear in this movie in some capacity, and maybe that is the sad scene that they're on about. So guys, let me know down below. Would you like Hulk and Spider-Man to team up in the movie? It would be so insane if they could do that. But from the way that Tom Holland's talking, it's pretty obvious that Spider-Man is staying inside the MCU. So like always, guys, if you want to enter the competition to win tickets for Far From Home, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel with notifications on and let me know down below any based Spider-Man comment, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.